Hey, love. Rough day? I'm sorry I couldn't hold your hand, but I hope you held on to his tightly until the day that we can finally hold his hand together. Do you know that I've been fervently praying for it? That faithful day. It can be tomorrow, next week, next month, or even a year. Does it matter anyway? Because all I know is how remarkable it will be. Because he wrote that day, our day. I know that you poured your heart to a past lover, because I did too, and he made it all happen, our great author. To someday find our worth through him, and only him. I used to wonder why, to question the pain every time. But you see, our God is a jealous God, because our first love should only be his. I know that now, because it was this love that lifted me right on his shoulders, bringing me back piece by piece. He never gave up, and that's the kind of love that I need. What my soul yearns for all this time, but was too frightened to admit, since this love used to be non-existent in my world, but not in his. That's the man that you are too. You will call me by my name and not by who I was. I know this now because you're finally the man I asked for. And I'll be waiting and praying that you are wishing for the same too. It might take longer, but he is with us all throughout. So until that faithful day, be still, my love. Tighten his grasp as he would someday lead you to mine.
So hi everyone, welcome to Stories with Pao and to this second entry of Pao's open letters. As you saw, it's more on an open letter to my future spouse. Yeah, here it goes. Watching and following my vlogs, yun nga, I have talked about my previous relationships na rin naman. Writing this open letter, so dito ko na sa letter na to binuhos yung godly spouse or the man that God has for me. Not really in detail, but really the man that I also need in my life. I know na di rin ako darating sa point na to without going through the past experiences that I had. And that's why sinabi ko na rin siya sa previous content ko na I am grateful for the past people who I had the privilege to be with. They really taught me so much. They really taught me a lot about how I should value myself, about how I should love myself before loving others. So, before kasi, how I really treated romantic relationships. Ako yung type na, I'm a hopeless romantic kasi. You idolize everything, you fantasize about everything, about the romantic gestures, about your partner, diba? So, ang tendency is, you cling on to those things as love, diba? Yun yung love, definition of love for you. Turns out, syempre, sooner or later, I found out na it wasn't, diba? Those are just superficial things talaga. That is part of a relationship that makes it sweeter and enjoyable, but that's not really the core. And that shouldn't be the core of a relationship na you're planning to really have in the long term or for marriage. During my biggest breakup, I was so terrified na of ever finding the one. Didn't feel worthy, first and foremost, to ever meet someone right again. Kasi I've been through a lot of things eh. I might be judged. Ganon. So that was my mindset before. I realized na the man that God has for me will never judge me for my past and will accept me for who I am now and will embrace the future me. I know that because that's how God loves me. Despite the things that I did to myself to dishonor Him, the time na I came back to Him and I ran back to Him, there wasn't any judgment. Didn't punish me and all. Kasi that's what I thought of Him eh. Before I really knew who He is now. I thought that He just punishes you when you do something bad. But that's not the case eh. God loves you no matter what. And He knows the things. He knows the things na you're gonna do. He knows everything about you. He knows your heart. He knows your story. He's the author of our lives, diba? So, alam niya eh. Alam niya what's gonna happen. What He does is, He disciplines. Okay? And He waits. He really, really, really waits for you to come back to Him. Because that's how much He loves you. He died for you. Diba? Will you die for someone you don't know on a normal day? You wouldn't, diba? But He did. And that's how much He loves every one of us. And that's how I know now na that's the same man na He's going to give to me. And it's just reassuring now that I am hopeful and I know deep inside and I trust my dad fully that finally this is the kind of man that He will give me or that I'm bound to meet. I wouldn't accept also any man who is less than that. For the people who are still waiting for that right person to come into their lives, don't wait. Don't wait for them. Just know that they are bound to come into your life. Remove the timeline that you have in your head na dapat by this time kasal ka na, by this time you're engaged or yun nga, you're married with kids. Remove that kasi you'll just get disappointed eh. But God will never disappoint you kasi whoever He has made for you, He will give you when you are ready. Okay? So just enjoy the preparation stage, diba? It's really, really fun to be single. And you only get this season in your life once because when you get married, that's it, diba? Thinking na, well, assuming na you'll just be married once, diba? Which is, you should naman. But, yeah, for those who really want a solid, Christ-centered marriage, you'll only have one shot at being single. So, make it worth it, guys. For those na gustong about single life and how to enjoy it, you can check my previous series, Singlehood series. Plug! So, yeah, that's it. So, don't wait for them. Just know that they will come. And enjoy your life now. Okay? So, that's it. On to the last entry.